warm soup and bread and snacks. I'm just going to go through a few things, those announcements at the beginning. So first of all, I know we have a new attendee tonight because I invited him and he showed up. So can you raise your hand if you are new to our, also, retired AP government teacher that's who that is. So yes, we have another resource. Thanks for joining, Fred. And if you want to get into the emails and stuff, let me know. We can get you, or Danielle is at your table. She can help get you set up for some of those things. As always, 2 more people for snacks. Thank you for everyone who participated in the somewhat spontaneous let's bring some soup and warm our souls up today. So thank you for bringing any of that for tonight. And a reminder, I don't know if Yoda's there, but the donation box for the church's space is over in its usual spot. Couple action items other than we'll hear more, I'm assuming, a little bit more about the candlelight vigil, but there's that. I also got an email update just today from Room at the Inn from Jen Fiegler about that extra shelter that they were trying to set up. And remember, they were going to do it at the Barriga Gym and then out at the park, and all of that fell through for numerous reasons, which she actually explained a little bit in her email. But starting January 11th, they will be working with the Salvation Army now because that space is available. And they are looking for volunteers for morning and evening half-hour shifts, just to either get it ready for for everyone to get there and spend their overnight. So just getting the bedding and everything put out, or the next morning, getting all that put away so that space can be used for the Salvation Army as they normally do. The shifts are in the evenings, 8 to 8:30, except Tuesday. Tuesday you could go because it's 9:15 to 9:45, so after being here, you could go over there. Otherwise, they also need every morning from 7:30 till 8. The tasks include arranging sleeping areas, organizing supplies, restoring the space for daytime use. Even a single shift makes a tangible difference. Yeah, it's at the Salvation Army. And so it says, to ensure the shelter remains safe, organized, and welcoming, we are seeking volunteers to assist with the short, structured setup and teardown shifts. Training and on-site guidance will be provided. And on the agenda, I have the link. They are working with the Yoopers United, the United Way volunteer site, to get those, to get you to sign up. So that is what's going on. Also, the senior food commodity distribution, I think it's a typo. I think it's supposed to be February 16th. And, you know, I never have everything correct on these agendas. But we also know that Oksana is not sure if that's the exact day. But it will be sometime in February. If you are interested and you have not filled out a volunteer registration background check, I printed off some more of these. If you are interested in helping with those. It is with vulnerable adults, so you do have to have a background check. And then I also noticed while I was looking that the Meals on Wheels is still, as I was looking for volunteers, 1 to 5 days a week, 9:30 to 12:30, working again through our community action. I think that's all I have related to announcements. Unless someone else has any other specific announcements. Okay, so while you guys are still, I can give you an update on the food pantry. I'm giving you time to all enjoy your soup. On December 9th and 16th, Our December 9th and 16th meetings gathered an additional 164 pounds for NMU Food Pantry and another 80 for the Whetstone Temporary Pantry. We had a $300 Venmo donation that was earmarked, $250 for Adopt a Family, which left $50 for the food pantry, along with another $40 donation from our weekly meeting. It's actually, NMU has seen a 50% increase in need. And then I do know, again, at the Department of Education's at Northern, at their celebration that Friday night, they also collected, and I think that's the most I've ever seen them collect that night too. There was a big table and a wagon filled. Tina served at the Whetstone Temporary. Tina served approximately 120 people at the Whetstone Temporary, and conservatively estimates an additional 1,000 pounds of food was gathered and distributed that was not accounted in our totals for those 2 months. Our grand total for 2025, drum roll, we started in April, was 6,721 pounds. So over 3 tons of food, household, and hygiene supplies was donated to pantries, senior centers, homeless shelters, and more. Thank you for your help, support, and donations. You are making a difference. Here we come, 2026. And again, thank you, Joanne and Jim, for doing all of the legwork for us so that we can support, and all we have to do is bring it here. So thank you. That's all I have. If someone wants to come up and take the mic and talk about LSRI or any other updates, you can. I'm going to enjoy a little soup while someone else talks. So, is anyone ready to talk? The soup was delicious, Kate. Okay. Do we have an update with LSRI after last night? You want to give a little update? Thank you.
At Peter White Library, we had a meeting last night. It's our last working meeting with the steering committee. It's met with the various teams of Lake Superior, Region Indivisible, and it was a great meeting. We have got a lot has been going on. We've got a lot of programs and events started, and we're going to continue with monthly meetings at Peter White at the conference room down in the basement. But the format is going to change. Starting in February, it's going to be an all-member meeting. We have 630 members on our mailing list. So starting in February and continuing monthly after that, we're going to have meetings that have a different focus and a different topic. It may be a speaker, it may be some sort of an educational class, it could be a potluck, it could be something social. So we're hoping to have something of interest that will appeal to different segments of our membership, and for us to kind of get to know each other better and to have some different experiences. They won't be working. They won't be working meetings anymore. Thank you. Because the meetings we've been having there have been basically working meetings where committees get together and work. So we're going to change up the focus a little bit, and so there's lots going on. If you're interested, if you're not on the mailing list, you're not receiving the newsletter from LSRI, there's QR codes on the back of the Candlelight Vigil flyers, so really easy to sign up for the newsletter. That's coming out every 2 weeks. We have a newsletter on Substack, and it's a good way for us to stay in touch with people, let everybody know what's going on in LSRI. And also, if you've got, and it's a way for you to let your questions, ask questions to us and things like that. Communicate both ways. So, yeah, and there are other QR codes on the back of that flyer, I think, for signing up for the Candlelight Vigil, if you still haven't done that. It's good if you can sign up through Mobilize because it gives us an idea of a head count, and a way for us to communicate quickly with you if things change. You can donate to LSRI. We have an account, a bank account that's managed by Indivisible National for us. So, any donation that you make through Act Blue will go to our account. It doesn't go to Indivisible National for them to spend however they'd like. It's for us to spend for events, all sorts of, any kind of expense that we incur putting on our events, communicating, doing the website, there are expenses. And so, that's it. Did I see a hand up with a question? The next one will be, I think, February 5th. I'm not sure, but we will get the word out. The next meeting will be the first, I think it's the first Thursday of February. From then on, it's Mondays. We're shooting for the first Monday of each month. But those dates we'll advertise in advance through the newsletter and as best we can. Anything else? Okay. And be sure to sign up for the Candlelight Vigil. We're looking forward to a good showing there. I think we've got 50 people signed up for that already. So.
Do you still have sweatshirts?
Sweatshirts and T-shirts are available. Yep.
Of course, Saturday's event, it'll be cold, no problem.
Yep. And just like before, we'll put out an appeal for, we'll pass it on. You can buy a sweatshirt. The sweatshirts are $30. Same design, front and back, as the T-shirts. Message on the back. But the hoodies come in two colors, a really nice blue and then this gray. The T-shirts are all blue, so those are still on sale. And, okay, thanks.
Hold on, want to grab the mic? Well, because
No,
the
we're on
online
video.
people.
The video feed needs to hear.
Yeah, otherwise the online people don't.
Turn it on. There's a switch there.
Is it working? Okay, the January 6th protest we had today, we had about 50 people in Marquette, and I think about 16 in Ishpeming, if I'm remembering correctly. The next one is on the 20th.
Yes, I heard. Do you want to talk?
Yeah.
Come on, I'm not done with my soup. Oh my God.
I'm not that tall.
I don't have all the facts on this because I didn't expect to be thrown up here. I could probably pull the website up on my phone, but for now. So our station of government, the White House, has had a web page for as long as I've been alive. And it's been relatively nonpartisan up until this administration. Since Trump got elected, it's been, in my opinion, a propaganda website. I remember the first thing that they had up there was a huge article bashing Fauci. Like, they replaced the COVID-19 protocol page with a bunch of conspiracy stuff. And just today, on the anniversary of January 6th, the White House now has an official January 6th page up where they are complaining about the Democrats and how they have reversed reality with this, I'm thinking for a second, just doubling down, tripling down on all the things that Trump was claiming during the actual events of January 6th. That the election was stolen, that Mike Pence failed to stand up and protect the MAGA voters, and along with claims that the Department of Justice was weaponized against the January 6th defendants, that they were denied due process. a bunch of conspiracy theory claims that we're familiar with are now posted front and center on our government's official website. So you can look that up and enjoy a painful read.
I'm Chris Hendrick, and this evening my focus is on today is also Epiphany. And I thought I would bring that up because I think what you said was very important, but I think it's important for us to remember that hope is what we can still hang on to. And just to remember that there are deeper roots than what we experienced a few years back is good for us. And I think we also need to remember that while reason is an extremely important aspect of human life, it cannot really distinguish between what is good and what is not good. So reach down into yourselves, each one of you, and remember what you hold most dear as you look at the trauma that we're going through. And remember, it has been ever thus. The world has always been topsy-turvy with wars and pestilences and selfish people and so on, and yet all through history there have been good people who have done their best to mitigate the disasters, and that remains true today in our country and around the world, and I think it's really important for us to hold fast to hope. Bless you all and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Needed that.
Anyone else have something to share from the last 2 weeks? I just want to say Happy New Year, y'all.
Woo!
Welcome back.
Oh, thanks for all the soup. My gosh. She is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's working now. All right, I'm here just to announce an event coming up on behalf of Jen Hill and Northern Michigan Alliance for Responsible Development. There's an AI data center seminar going to be on January the 18th. This will be mostly a virtual event, but there will be places that people can congregate in physical locations in Houghton, in Sault Ste. Marie, and to be determined location in Marquette. I do have some flyers with a QR code to a Mobilize link that you can register for, and then you will be updated when we actually finalize the venue. Basically, this is going to be going over the establishment of data centers and cryptocurrency mining facilities in the UP and in rural northern Michigan. These places are they're trying to be set up here because a lot of the rural communities are smaller and they can't really fight back against these, or people are not as well informed and they may not know that they could need to go oppose them. So this will be informing people about that need and helping organize in opposition to these. So yeah, if you want more information, either reach out to myself or Jen Hill, or ideally take one of these flyers and sign up for the Mobilize link. Again, that's on January the 18th. It'll be from 7 p.m. to 8:45, and I will update you as soon as we get the venue locked in. Thanks.
Ballot proposals, mop-up is still working on getting signatures, so is Invest in My Kids. I have packets with, oh, I may have all three. Ranked Choice is not collecting currently. However, I feel good about at least collecting collecting signatures that I did collect, because I felt like people now are aware of what ranked choice voting is. So it was more of an educational kind of, hey, I'm gonna teach you about what this is, and so that, you know, it's out there at least. And I have seen things personally about, you know, the Democratic Party maybe using it in their own, and those types of things. So there's that. Were you gonna talk?
I want to say.
Yay!
I just wanted to, I guess, touch on the issues we were discussing a month or so ago about the Yooper Unite meetings and how they should be run and the longevity of the project and all of those kinds of things. I want you to know, and you out there in cyber world, that conversation has not just been dropped. We do plan on formulating a survey to put out to all of our members to kind of collect information about broadly what people are looking for, and have some further discussions about whether we should continue meeting weekly or, you know, whatever it is. I just wanted you to know that that conversation didn't go away. We are trying to give LSRI the opportunity to restructure and formulate how their mission and situation will go, so we know how we can best support our local community and all of the organizations that we like to try to participate with. So no definitive decisions, just wanted you to know it wasn't a moot point of having all those discussions, that we're taking all that in and processing and trying to figure out what our next step is so that we can move forward. That's it.
Pardon? Oh, it's a law in Finland that you have to wear reflectors.
Oh.
And it is a reflector, so it is true. So, but it's, yeah, because I go hiking and stuff.
So one of the things that we usually do here is, it is a place to come and go, I have this idea. And then people join in that idea. And that's really a big part of what this has been. Many things have been spurred on by one person saying, hey, what are we doing for July 4th? And next thing you know, we're in the parade with a big float. That's just one example. After helping with the senior commodity distribution last month, one of the things that I started trying to record was what's everything that I have learned in the last year, less than a year, but about a year since these meetings have really started. And some of it includes some of the information Joanne has shared, how when she went to the Gwyn food pantry and they said, we want you to know that the people that are coming have done everything right in their life. But the money just doesn't meet the expenses anymore. My own husband hears what I share. He shared when someone was talking negatively about Room at the Inn, he said, you know what? They also help keep families intact. So I am trying to gather some of those and trying to remember. But one of my ideas that if you would like to join is to actually brainstorm. What are some of the things we've learned about how our government impacts us? Basically, that's kind of where I'm going. And it reminds me of the saying, you don't know what you have until you lose it. So that is one of my ideas, and then maybe writing letters to the editors, those types of things to help that message get out. So if you're interested in helping me brainstorm, I would love some extra help on that. And then the other thing that I thought about was February 24th is the 4th anniversary of the full-scale invasion on Ukraine. Last year, we did a quite spontaneous event. We started at Harlow Park. Nadia came down from Houghton. We started at Harlow Park. We walked Washington Street up and down, and that was what we did. We didn't need a permit or anything because we walked the sidewalks. So I also am interested in like looking at doing something as simple as that, but I do feel we really need to recognize that date in some way. February 24th. It's a what? It's a Tuesday. Yeah, and I want to say it was like 5 o'clock or something. It wasn't, I don't even know what time it was. I just remember going there and walking in blue and yellow. Is there any other ideas that anyone has at this point that you want to explore? Yeah, Elsa, do you want the mic? Sure.
Can't hear what she's saying.
So the idea is, what Elsa is going to actually do is reach out to all of her siblings and ask them to send postcards to their representatives. Oh, yeah, she's got 7 siblings, so I have 1. So that is an idea. And I know, were you also not the one that brought the postcards that are already stamped or something from the post office? Yes, I did. Okay, so you can also get at the post office little cards that are actually already have postage and everything on them.
And the reason we do that is so it's not traceable.
And the reason that you do that is so it's not traceable, if you are concerned about making phone calls. I call Bergman's office, and for whatever reason, my daughter, Allie, who lives in Detroit, gets the letter sent to our house in response, even though she's not even on our cell plan and has not been for years, and I've tried to clarify it with Bergman, and all they go is, well, that's the IT people. Okay, well, tell the IT people. Oh, you got an idea? Great.
Oh, can I just give a couple?
Before I forget. So a couple things. Kelly Van Ginhoven has reached out. She will be here next Tuesday. Reminder, when we have any candidate come, any candidate is welcome to come. They get 10 minutes at the beginning of our meeting to introduce themselves, give a little background, and then they are welcome to stay and have a breakout. So she's coming on the 13th, and then on the 27th, Dana Lalonde will be here to talk about her candidacy. Okay, did you have a question?
Nope, you answered it on the sheet.
Okay.
On the notion of potential future ideas, something I have been kicking around after my very, very successful venture into the temporary food pantry at Whetstone, and really hearing from that many people what they need and how they, some of them would be like, well, I would, use this item if I had this cooking, whatever. So it got me thinking, and I've thought for a long time, in our efforts for mutual aid, and as it becomes harder to obtain things in our country, which, whether you want to blame tariffs or income or whatever it is, I'm thinking about trying to organize, like, the library's lending library for things. but on a bigger scale. So if somebody needed to borrow my roasting pans or my pressure washer or the jack, the drive-up ramps for changing your oil, or if somebody had a freeze dryer they wanted to donate, no ulterior motives there. But just, I'm looking at trying to figure out how we could house a mutual aid lending object, kind of a library for our community, so that not everybody needs to own a tool bag or cooking devices or whatever. So if you're into that idea, come talk to me.
Anybody else? Anybody else got an idea?
I thought Bergman was the spare tool bag. I didn't say that, did I? No.
Oh, good.
Keep 'em
I'm
rolling.
just gonna,
Keep 'em
like,
rolling.
it's the new year.
And we
and-
got time.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this for a minute, and I have zero bandwidth to do this, and this is why I have not said it yet, but I think because we're moving into like the midterms and the elections are really important, I think it's important, we all get busy living our lives, and we kind of forget until we get a moment where we get a gut check because something terrible happens, like, it's beyond naming at this point, but something terrible happens, it reminds us it's a gut check, and then we like just buckle back down because it's really hard to survive, and you're just focusing on like moving forward. But in the last year, so many things, we've lost so many things. Like the big beautiful bill, I mean, I just found out, and I haven't read any more about this, so I have no details. But the Corporation for Public Broadcasting just dissolved today. So like, that's a huge one, that's a huge loss. There's a bunch of stuff that we've lost, but it would be really nice to be able to convey that loss in like a factual and meaningful way on like, I don't know the source or the way, but like, say like, hey, this is what you lost, so think about this when you go and vote for the midterm. Like, this is, because like people need to know, we need a reminder of all the things, but it needs to be factual, it needs to be short, it needs to be like, well done. But I don't have the bandwidth to do any of those things. So here I am, hoping that somebody else will pick my idea up, because I think it'll really help remind people, or people that are confused, or people that aren't really sure, like, oh, I haven't been thinking about this, it hasn't impacted me, I'm just living my life. They might need to see a poster or a flyer or a blurb on social media saying like, this is how it's actually impacting you. Like, food has gone up this much of a percent. We've 32% inflation in the last 2 years or something like that. Like, this is how much it's gone up. This is the policies that are directly driving this, and like, here's hard facts on like, real sources from whatever, government source or vetted media, but like, and really provide that information for people, because there's so much disinformation that I think people get lost in that. But I don't know how to do that, so.
Good idea. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know how to put that in words.
I just want to add one thing to that. Anything that we do put out, we need to make sure that we cite the source, because there's so much crud out there. It isn't even funny. So we need to do that, and then stand behind it organizationally too, probably. Just a thought.
You speaking?
Going off the citations, I do want to kind of make a general note for people that might not be aware. So AI is a virtual yes man, which means that you tell it to do something, it's not going to care as much about sources or citations, it's going to tell you what you want to hear. Especially if you ask it for citations for academic sources or anything along those lines, it will just generate a fake listing and tell you it's real. Make sure that, first off, that we are writing these and we are researching them, because, first off, we don't want to be promoting AI. This is because we are trying to make sure that we are not getting these giant data centers in our area to begin with. And the first step is not promoting it whenever possible. Second thing is that it's not correct. They want you to think it's a real person. They want you to think it's a real thing. It's not. A lot of our spell checks, for instance, have been replaced with AI, and they've gotten
So much worse.
much worse, much worse, because they don't care about what's correct and what's been maintained. They care about what people do the most. And here's the thing, mistakes can be very common. So make sure that we're not using AI as a reference in any way, shape, or form. And honestly, if you're able to, just boot it all together.
Like that too, it might be a good thing to, one of the things that we put out is something about what you just said about AI. The unreliability of it and, you know, the fact that we want to caution people about it, just like we're being cautious ourselves.
And on that note, that reminded me, again, I've shared this before, but the card campaign is a wonderful resource. It is all researched by humans, validated, and at using reliable sources at the card campaign. It's called the card campaign because you can print, and I didn't get to do it today. I was going to bring some, but you can print the cards out, and there is a whole distribution guide, how to hand them out. You can get them in different sizes. You can order them through a printer and get them mailed, and they are working closely together. So I will try, I don't have it on here, but I'll try to add that to the notes. And I will put it on my to-do list to print some of those. I did bring some early in our adventure, which is what we're on, right? There is a new one on fascism. I do know that. I think that's the most recent one. Like what it is, or, yeah. I'm not completely there. We're all just kind of getting back into the flow, right? So, what I am hearing for breakouts, ballot petitions, there are some if you are interested in those. There is Lydia's idea, which I'm kind of calling it, you don't know what you've lost until it's gone, how policies affect us directly. Directly affect us. How policies directly affect us. You like that? Okay. I am a wordsmith or something. I had mentioned the February 24th, if we want to start looking at even tentative plan of what we might do. Do we want to just do what we did last year? Do we want to work with Nadia maybe up in Houghton and see, because she was here, so I just remember that. So that could be another breakout. I see your hand. And then the idea of tell your story, which was me going, what have you learned this year that we might want to share in some way, shape, or form? Yes?
I just had an idea for the anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but I can talk about that at the breakout.
Okay, so it sounds like this is going to be the breakout for the Ukraine. Way to go, thanks.
Volunteer?
Of course. Open mouth, volunteer. Volunteer, open mouth. I think it goes either way. Is there any other breakouts? Does Ellis or I need anything? Do you need? No? Okay. So, support for Ukraine, brainstorming here. Lydia, you going to be, I know you don't have a whole lot of brain power there, but will you at least be our place? Okay. There. I can, and there's one there too. I'll probably take where Sally's sitting. I'll probably sit there if you want to help me brainstorm some things about what we've learned over the past year and how the government can impact us, either in a good or bad way. You got more?
I have one more thing I want to
Okay.
ask for. For Saturday's vigil on the disappeared and illegally incarcerated, I'm not sure, I'm not getting those words right, but Saturday's visual on Saturday evening, I am looking for some of those, maybe one or two of the large insulated beverage dispensers so that I can bring some hot chocolate and coffee. So if anybody has one of those big insulated ones that don't need to be plugged in, please reach out to me and let me know. And if I can find some, I will bring some hot beverages for y'all.
Hidden cooler. You have more? Yeah, no.
Mentioning Saturday reminded me, last Saturday we canceled the Citizens for Peace and Justice rally. That was a little bit, I guess, preemptive on my part. The snowbanks outside the post office were much too high for us to stand and demonstrate on that side, but a lot of protesters went and moved it to the other side of the street. A really obvious idea that I wish I had thought of sooner. Just wanted to say that I did regret making that call, but I think this is a decent contingency plan for the time being. I'm going to be talking more with the Citizens for Peace and Justice and anyone involved, like the safety team, and figure out, you know, if there's something that where we need to move locations entirely, what would happen then, and what would constitute the situation where we do need to cancel it, and how soon do we need to try to make that call in the future. So, just wanted to formally apologize to everyone if you were itching to get out there and demonstrate, especially with the recent terrible news about Venezuela. I'm sorry, but I'll hopefully see you out there this Saturday.
This is just an ask from your sound guy. 2 weeks from tonight, I have a standing date in Green Bay to get my eye shots, and I will be. So far, they're hanging in there, but it's been going on for a while. But I can leave the sound system here. I will need help if someone's interested. I'll show how to set it up, and then it just needs to be put back in that little room. It's not too complicated. So next week, if there's someone who wants to volunteer, I'll gladly show you how to do it, and go from there. Thank you. Pardon?
I said I'm gonna put that in the notes too.
Okay. Is that a break?